Good evening, everyone. We are here to look at the games between the two southernmost teams in India. We are talking about the Chennai Super Kings and the Sunrisers Hyderabad. It's a game that's going to be coming up from the Dubai International Stadium. Two teams who have struggled to get momentum. Hyderabad coming off a win. Chennai are coming off two losses on the bounce. More unsettled Chennai side that you'll obviously see. Hyderabad having their own issues with regards to batting and how they balance out. How will this game look? Because what this IPL sees is what we've witnessed in this year's IPL is a win here or two can easily take you from the bottom of the table to the top. And unfortunately for both these sides, they're in uncharted territory. Let's see how this goes. We're going to first look at the Chennai Super Kings for this game. And now we're going to look at the Chennai Super Kings. They are not that side that you normally associate with the bottom of the table. Unfortunate that it's actually 10 years after that looking at Chennai Super Kings figuring out somewhere in the bottom. I remember in 2010 after the first 5 or 6 games, they were somewhere in the 7th or the 6th spot. I think now they're there at the 8th spot. But the good part is it's not that they've played half their games and then they're at the 8th spot. It's only the third, fourth game that they're going to play. The larger problem is, of course, as we've already seen earlier, they've got to plug in those big holes. They don't have reinforcement or replacement players coming in there. And with injuries to Raidu, it only affected their combination even to a greater extent in the last game. The good news for them is Raidu's back. So what it gives Dhoni as a captain is more bowling options. So it's going to be a toss-up between Murli Vijay and Ruturaj Gaikwad at the top. I think Murli Vijay hasn't really been great. He's not done good at all in the last 3 games. Ruturaj Gaikwad, he's an opener from a batsman position perspective. He's unfortunately had to play number 4 or number 5. So I do feel that CSK will give him one more chance. So he'll have to open and he'll have to open with Shane Watson, because the larger problem for CSK is they can't take Watson off and have a overseas bat bowler there, because they are falling slightly short on the batsman angle. So they'll have to have Shane Watson, and Watson does have a good record against the Sunrisers. So Watson and Ruturaj Gaikwad will have to open. Faf du Plessis and Ambati Rayudu, two of what we can call as the pillars of batting in this year's IPL for CSK. They've both batted well in the limited option time that they've got. Number 5, Dhoni has to come in at number 5 now. I am going to make a slight change. Kedar Jadhav hasn't had a last IPL at all, a fairly good IPL at all. The last 2 games he didn't perform well. His bowling is not being used as well, so there's no point having an extra batsman there. Rather, the better option is get Dhoni at number 5, Jadeja at number 6. You've got a reinforcement of the kind of Sam Curran at number 7. Jadeja needs to have a good game with the ball. And at Dubai, I think what is going to be important is how he keeps his length. Sharjah, of course, is it's not a bowler's paradise at all. Abu Dhabi and Dubai, I think Dubai is slightly favorable. You do look at spinners do get a bit of purchase, but it's about how much he varies his length and how about the bit of speed. If he can reduce his speed slightly, Sam Curran is doing a wonderful job. So it's good to have him there. He's that all rounder that the team needs. Deepak Chahar has to continue, and this is where I think instead of Kedar Jadhav, I'm going to see Shardul Thakur coming into the side. I feel Shardul Thakur coming in there, he can also take the long handle. He can get those quick fire 5s and 10s, and he'll give you 4 overs. So instead of 5 bowlers, when you go with 6, you know that any one bowler has a bad game. There's one more to come in and fill that spot. So Deepak Chahar and Shardul Thakur coming in there. Piyush Chawla, he's been amongst the wickets, but has been expensive. It's about how he varies his lengths there. The same issue as what Jadeja is. CSK is known to be a very spinner strong side. The spinners haven't done justice in the last 3 games, but you do sense that in Dubai, with a 6-day break, the spinners can come into the groove. And at number 11, I just feel that instead of Josh Hazelwood, the CSK might be tempted to play Imran Tahir. Look, Tahir is someone who knows to bowl well across conditions. He's had a good white ball record in South Africa, in the Caribbean when he played in the CPL. He plays in England as well. He's played in the subcontinent. He knows how to vary his lengths. He's slightly quicker, but he also does get that bounce. So it's about how he comes in. The time he comes in, he'll be especially crucial when he's going to bowl against a Kane Williamson or a Johnny Bairstow. This side gives MS Dhoni 3 pacers, 3 spinners, 6 bowling options. So there is that balance that they create, and you have 5 or 6 solid batsmen. I think that's what the side needs. This could be the side that CSK might say that, look, let's kickstart our campaign here. They've had 1 win. One more win in this game will only take them higher, and then the confidence builds, because they've also got a 6-day break, which has helped them in plan and strategize and see what's going wrong. So this is my 11 for the CSK for today's game. Let's see how they play it against the SRH today. And now we are going to look at the SRH, the Sunrisers Hyderabad 2016 champions. Similar kind of a journey they've had. Lost two games, won the third game, but the victory against Delhi Capitals would give them a lot of confidence because they actually beat the table toppers at that point of time and they played a very solid game. The inclusion of Kane Williamson gave them that their batting balance that actually helped because Kane Williamson, no one has known Kane Williamson as a dasher, but he is someone who knows to play across the wagon wheel. He's someone who can play the ground strokes, who can take the aerial route whenever it's needed. So he gave them that impetus that was lacking in them. And with Abdul Samad coming in, it really helped. He hit only 1 6, but remember, a six is what separates a victory from a defeat. So in that aspect, I think they got that pretty much sorted. What could be a hope, an area of worry for Sunrisers could be their bowling is still not balanced. The same issue as what the CSK faced over the last 2 or 3 games. They are only with five bowlers, so that's the only worry because they don't have a genuine all-rounder or a batsman who can bowl a 2 or 3 over spell. So that's where do they include Nabi, but then at whose expense? Rashid's done well, Kane Williamson's done well, David Warner is the captain, and Besto has played well in the last 3 games. He had 2 good games. So that is one area of concern for them. But I would still say that in case Vijay Shankar is fit, they get in Vijay Shankar instead of Priyam Garg because Priyam Garg is also batting out of position. He's an opener or maximum say he can come in at number 3, but playing a Garg at number 5 or number 6, you don't really extract the maximum potential from that batsman. So if Vijay Shankar is fit, they get in Vijay Shankar there because that's the only way they'll have to get in their sixth bowler. Because say Abhishek Sharma gets taken for runs or Bhuvi unfortunately has a bad day, God forbid, then you'll have to have another bowler who can come in and fill that gap. So that's where SRH has to manage, and we are looking at a lot of runs from Warner. Unfortunate that he's not had a good game in the last 3 times they've played, but you do know that Warner is always the kind of player who will rise to the big stage. So this could be the game where Warner says, "Look, I've got Deepak Chahar in the opposition. I've got Sam Curran. The ball comes on, a bit of movement here and there, but if I can just keep cool for the first 2 or 3 overs and then bat through the 15, 17 overs, you never know. Warner might land up scoring a century." So a lot of batting depends still on Warner, Manish Pandey. Then you've got Kane Williamson and Johnny Bairstow. The bowling again, Bhuvi and Rashid Khan were excellent in the last game. T. Natarajan was simply superb. I think he flew under the radar. You just can't miss his Yorkers. In fact, Brett Lee had a word of praise for him. So that shows the bowling strength. Khalil Ahmed has to control his leakage of runs. He's been leaking runs, and you can't afford to do that in a game because a victory here for the Sunrisers would put them into a position where they say we lost two, but then we won two on the bounce. So this is going to be my predicted 11 for the Sunrisers. Let's see how the Sunrisers play today. And now we've got to look at the matchups for today's game. What are the player battles that we'll see? One big player battle is going to be Bhuvneshwar Kumar versus Shane Watson and Ambati Rayudu. Shane Watson has been kept quiet most of the time by Bhuvneshwar Kumar, but Shane Watson has also used that as an advantage. He ensures that by keeping himself quiet against Bhuvneshwar Kumar, then he takes it out against Rashid Khan. So will Bhuvi be able to get Shane Watson out? Because if he can get Shane Watson out with the in swinger, with the in dipper, then the batting just does go for a toss there for CSK. With regards to Ambati Rayudu, he's had a splendid record against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. He's played very well. He knows to tackle Bhuvneshwar Kumar. He knows to play Rashid Khan fairly well. If Bhuvneshwar Kumar can get either of these two cricketers out early, then the CSK are going to struggle. But if both of them can negotiate Bhuvneshwar Kumar well, then you possibly look at CSK setting a platform and going big. The next matchup is going to be about two batsmen with a lot of reputation, but they have not had their best of IPLs. One is Dhoni versus Rashid Khan. I think Rashid Khan has got the wood over Dhoni there. You still remember that googly that he bowled and got Dhoni dismissed in the qualifier about 2 years back. Dhoni came on. There was a lot of surround about that with a lot of stories that what Mike Hussey had to say about that. So that will be of an interest. That will be a very interesting battle to watch out for. We all know Dhoni struggles against leg spin. Same way with regards to David Warner. Deepak Chahar, if he can come in round the wicket, he's not that express pace, but if he can nip the ball a bit, he can get David Warner out LBW or maybe say caught behind. So that's going to be an interesting battle. These two batsmen not amongst the runs. These two bowlers have had a good game and a bad game, so it's going to be interesting. These two are some of the big matchups that are there for this game. Both teams need a victory here to carry forward their IPL. May the best team win. All the best to both the teams.